I like to take this as something so dear to the Nigeria Association of Social Workers. I like all of us, please, when you rise, you clap and celebrate your own. We're having this for the first time, and it's to the glory of God that social work profession in Nigeria got into this level. I'm taking this time because there will be no time to run a citation, but just to tell you that this office and this person is very important to us. Mr. President, sir, permit me to welcome in our midst the Africa Regional President of IFSW in the person of Oluwatomi Adeleke. Our own Dorish there. Please celebrate her. Mama, please, can you just move to me? Celebrate her. Please, please. At this point, I'd like to welcome our National President, my own daddy. I don't used to address him as National President when we meet. I address him as daddy. He's more or less like my grandpa. Permit me to welcome Hajmi Moshood Mustafa, National President of Nigeria Association of Social Workers. He had paid his due. Celebrating. Daddy, welcome, sir. Daddy, welcome, welcome. These people have done well. To be very candid with you, when you have done well, you need to be celebrated. Then, but you know they smell flower. Celebrate them when they are still alive. Celebrate them. I see Tony getting to this age and being celebrated more. Even me. Daddy, you've done well. I read your book, Casework Practice, and in the University of Calabar, and today I'm a lecturer in the University of Calabar. I'm a PhD holder. Courtesy of him. If I had not read your book, I wouldn't have gone to this level.
I thank him for bringing us here safely today, far and near, and also pray for those on their way that they will arrive safely in Jesus' name. Lord God, we are about to commence our 2024 annual conference. I pray you take preeminence. Come and take charge of all the activities. Today, the first day, tomorrow, the second day, and next tomorrow, the third day. And as we are departing Abuja on the fourth day, we pray that you go with us. Father, be with us. In our deliberation, let your power speak.
Not only to discuss policies and practices, but to forge new alliances and renew our dedication to upholding the dignity and welfare of people we serve. We will therefore engage in meaningful discussions, share best practices, and explore innovative strategy for collaboration. We shall examine the implication of the Social Work Act on our practice, explore opportunities for capacity building, and foster connection with development partners. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to use this opportunity to state that the objectives of this conference include strengthening of partnership among social workers, government agencies, and development partners, enhance understanding of Social Work Act and its implication for practice, share knowledge and expertise on effective social work interventions, and foster collaboration and resource mobilization for social impact. Reference to these objectives, we have invited keynote speakers and panelists comprising experts from government, development agencies, academia, and social work practice. Their insights will stimulate our thinking, challenge our assumptions, and inspire us to innovate. As social workers, we are uniquely positioned to drive positive change. Therefore, Let us reaffirm our commitment to the values of social justice, empathy, and human rights. Let us strengthen our partnership to amplify our impact. Let us advocate for policies and programs that promote social development. Let us continuously develop our skills and knowledge to address emerging challenges. It is also imperative at this juncture to appreciate the federal government, the National Assembly, and the ministries for their efforts toward the enactment of Nigeria Council for Social Work Act and for the complete professionalization of social work in Nigeria. We call upon the government to make reference to the provision of the Act and constitute the council in order to project the image of the profession and address the various issues affecting the vulnerable, the children, the families, and our communities. Finally, I would like to extend my gratitude to our distinguished speakers, panelists, and guests, as well as our development partners for their invaluable support and contributions toward this conference. Your presence signifies a shared commitment to advancing social work in Nigeria, and we are honored to have you with us. I would also like to acknowledge the inexhaustible efforts of our members who have worked relentlessly to advance the social work profession and improve the lives of those we serve. Your dedication, expertise, and compassion have made a significant impact, and we celebrate your achievements. I invite you to engage fully in this conference to share experiences and learn from one another. Together, we can harness the power of partnership to create a more just and equitable society. Once again, I welcome you to the 39th Annual Conference of NASoW. May this event be fruitful and inspiring one for all. Thank you, and let us begin this journey for collaboration and impact.
I think Mr. President deserves more than that. Something like an ovation. Inspiring. Congratulations to all of us. We are moving. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our African President of IFSW and President of NASoW, may I have the pleasure to welcome in our midst the representative of the Honorable Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction in the person of Peter Audu, who's going to join us now. He's representing the Minister. You are welcome, sir. Welcome to the 39th Conference and Annual General Meeting of Nigeria Association of Social Workers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point I'd like to call on our father, like I say, my grandpa, to give us the lead paper for this conference. And to do this is nobody but Professor Alan Bevier. I've been trying to call his name since he never correct me, Prof. And I will call him one day. Professor A.E. Idioro will be taking the lead paper. Celebrating, please put your hands together for him. You will learn today again from him. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As I welcome Daddy to the podium. Please put your hands together for him until he gets the mic. Thank you, and thank you. After this, we'll take the plenary session. So for those preparing for plenary, get ready. Thank you very much.
African Regional President, our national president, our zonal vice presidents, state presidents, all ESCO members, distinguished social workers. You are welcome to the tonight's annual general conference of Nigeria Association of Social Workers. I've been asked to talk to you on what we have been doing in the past to bring social work to the stage where we are. I'm not going to say everything, but I will just introduce the subject by bringing out key issues that we have done in the past. First, I want to point out that Nigeria as a country is confronted with myriad of social problems, including the problem of resource identification, mobilization, and utilization towards the professionalization of social work practice. The enormity of the social problems will remain a result if the strategy of partnership is not utilized, even in the midst of several opportunities for professionalizing social work. So this review that I'm going to do here will try to identify and point out some of the opportunities in the past and present, and point out the way forward for us as social workers to do in leveraging and impacting on professionalization. First, let me point out that there's a little difference between partnership and networks. For us, partnership is formal, it's well organized, more focused. Networks are informal and much broader in nature. So I want us to know that if we want to professionalize social work properly in Nigeria, we must move from networks to partnerships. So what is partnership? Partnership for professional social work practice refers to the collaboration or collaborative relationships between social workers, organizations, and stakeholders to enhance the quality of social work services and positively impact on the society served. There is also focus on common services, mutual benefits, and outcomes. There is also joint decision-making and sharing of resources. That is what makes for partnership. If we want our partnership to be successful, well, we must develop and set out clear goals and objectives. We must build trust and relationships with those that we partner. We must develop and foster open communications, have shared protocols and procedures, and then monitor and evaluate what we do. Nigeria as a country is confronted with a myriad of social problems, including the problem of resource identification, mobilization, and utilization towards professionalizing social work. The enormity of social problems will remain unresolved if we do not engage in partnership in order to utilize several opportunities that are available for us to utilize and professionalize social work. So in this paper, we are going to review such opportunities and point out how we have utilized them. But before I go into details, what is a profession? And what can we do to professionalize social work? While every profession has education or a formal training, in Nigeria, we have OND, First Auxiliary Social Work, then we have ND, we have National Diploma, we have Postgraduate Diploma, we have Masters, and then PhD. All these are followed by internship. There's also a body for accreditation of programs. We have the National Board for Technical Education, the National Universities Commission. They are the ones that authorize social work education. We also have a national association, the Nigeria Association of Social Work. We also have in existence the National Council. Is there for registration and licensing of social workers, and also for regulating them and punishing those that refuse to obey the ethics, the rules and regulation of the profession. There's also a societal mandate, the recognition that mandates us to do our work, to provide social services to the community. In working and developing this paper, I had to consult historical archives, some of the materials of NASoW that are in my possession. I've also consulted textbooks to get the information for this paper. And what did I find? That partnership between Nigerian social workers, partnership between NASoW and non-governmental development associations had been in existence for a long period. In fact, we can say before NASoW was established in 1975. So what were social workers doing? Or those in social services, what were they doing? At the beginning, there were freed slaves between 1900 and 1908, when Nigeria was in its yearly formation. Those who were slave children were set free by the colonial government. And the colonial government built freed slaves' homes. But government could not run these homes on her own. So she had to partner with missionaries. They were involved in this service. Then later on, about 1942, the Colony Welfare Service was established. The Colony Welfare Service used some notable figures in Lagos to form what was known as Green Triangle Club. And they took charge of street children. And they partnered with tribal unions or tribal associations. And they resolved the problem of delinquency in the city of Lagos. And this was extended to other cities like Warri, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and up north, Kaduna, Zaria, Jos, Kano. And when the provinces were created, each province had its own social welfare division. And they partnered with the missionaries and other organizations in solving the problems in the community. During the colonial era, there was also what was popularly known as posted wives. Posted wives were women or ladies who were married to soldiers in absentia. But when they finally met these soldiers, they discovered that they were not really friendly or lovely to them, so they did not want to continue with the marriage. So some of them reported to the Colony Welfare Service, and the Colony Welfare Service went into partnership with tribal associations to repatriate these ladies back to their homes or assist them in any way that they wanted. So this is what was happening in the colonial era. And when NASoW came up, when NASoW was established in 1975, it later went into limbo about 1988 and was revived in 1999 by Mrs. Inter Bello, who was the director of Federal Director of Social Welfare. Since then, NASoW has done a lot to try and professionalize social work in Nigeria. They have partnered with UNICEF, one, in evaluating the staff strengths of those who were engaged in social welfare services. They also run workshops on strengthening social workforce. NASoW was also responsible for developing from 1987 to 2003, they developed what is known as Child Rights Act. So Child Rights Act is the baby of NASoW. There was also training of social workers on the implementation of Child Rights Act in the states, and in each state, NASoW had been responsible for the training. And I know I took part with our partners, and this was clearly shown at a stage when we pursued bill, and UNICEF was assisting us. We found ourselves confronted with this conflict of different priorities. There's also dominance and power imbalances between us and our partners. Some partners want to dominate us and lead us not really to the direction where we want to go. There's also sometimes communication barriers between the partners. So what are the recommendations? Capacity building initiatives for social workers should be an ongoing plan. We should continuously do that so that we'll be able to professionalize social work. There should be continued resource mobilization. We don't have to rest. Mr. President, you have to do more. I can see there was some frustration in the Lagos conference, but we were able to withstand it. So we have to partner with UNICEF and other organizations so as to mobilize resources, strategize, and bring development to Nigeria. There should be continued advocacy and policy influence on government and potential partners. We need to advocate for the good of our society. There should be increased collaboration in research and in sharing of knowledge. Our editor-in-chief has to work hard to make sure that the Lagos conference papers are published. We can partner with like-minded organizations to sponsor the publication of those conference papers in the Nigerian Journal of Social Work. So that is what we have been doing, and you can see clearly that NASoW has done a lot. The federal and state governments also have done a lot, and they have benefited from what NASoW has been doing. By going into partnership with non-governmental development organizations to provide social services. Our African president, our national president, distinguished social workers, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for listening.
NASoW. Great NASoW. I don't know why our voices are this loud. I thought maybe after shaking body, our voice will be getting higher. Great NASoW. Thank you very much. So we are calling on the goodwill message will be taken by Peter Adu. Thank you.
First of all, congratulate NASoW as a body for putting this program together. It cannot be easy. So congratulations. I also want to congratulate the NASoW president and his team for working tirelessly for equally coming up with this program, because I know what they have been going through. They have come to the ministry several times, and it's not easy to come up with this. So I call say thank you for putting this together. Actually, I want to give you updates. When the lead speaker was talking, he mentioned social development policy. The update is that that policy was developed in 1989. And you know, from that then till now, it becomes obsolete. So we have been working tirelessly how we can update it. And I think we are always advancing soonest. We are going to invite NASoW and other stakeholders to take a look at it, so that we can take another step forward. So that is what we can say about that for now. Thank you. The President, International Federation of Social Work, who is the President, the National President, NASoW, the Director Social Welfare FCT, the State Chapters of NASoW here present, erodent research persons here present, other MDAs, development partners, because you know we cannot do without you, other important stakeholders, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I think other protocols would have observed because in case maybe you be present to present it for your omitted some others. Thank you very much. So the good message I'm about to give is purely that of the Honorable Minister. He would have loved to be here, but you know he just appointed 2 days ago, days ago, I just stepped into the office. So because of the existence of duties, he had directed that I should represent him. But in future subsequent when they set it up fully, you will see the real minister. So that's therefore the speech is purely that of the minister. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to deliver this good message at this auspicious occasion of the 39th Annual Conference and General Meeting of Nigeria Association of Social Workers. This gathering represents a critical platform and crucial areas for reflection, collaboration, and advancement in the field of social practice in Nigeria. As you all are aware, social worker plays an indispensable role in our nation's development and humanitarian response framework. Your dedication to serving vulnerable populations, promoting social justice, and strengthening communities have never been more vital than this, especially in these challenging times we are. The theme of this year's conference, which is Partnership for Professional Social Work in Nigeria, leveraging the Social Work Act and development partners for impact, is very apt, especially particularly relevant as we face unprecedented social challenges in our nation. The Federal Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction recognized the social partnership we share with social workers in implementing our mandate to provide sustainable solutions to humanitarian crisis and poverty reduction. As we gather here today, I wish to reaffirm the Ministry's commitment to strengthen the social work profession in Nigeria. We recognize the need for continued professional development, improved working conditions, and enhanced recognition as social workers. Contribution to national development cannot be overemphasized. At this junction, I encourage all participants to actively engage in the discussions, share experiences, and forge a new partnership that will advance the practice of social work in Nigeria. The knowledge and insights gained from this conference should translate into improved service delivery to our teeming communities and populations in Nigeria. Let me assure you again that the ministry remains committed and focused to supporting the association's initiative and working collaboratively to address the social challenges facing our nation, Nigeria. Together, we shall build a more equitable and resilient society. At this junction, I also say thank you for your attention, and may God Almighty lead the Federal Republic of Nigeria and wish you good luck in your deliberation. Thank you.
Distinguished professors, my Lord Spiritual and Temporal, here, Mr. President, may I have the honor to welcome to the microphone Professor Ibrahim Ado Abubakar for his presentation. Thank you very much. Please celebrate him.
Good evening. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think I was supposed to be here by 12 noon, but this system of African time is eating us deeply. So I no longer blame anybody when you criticize the system. I just tell you the system is eating us. Just let me leverage on the existing protocol so that I won't count people who are here. As you have seen, I think I am Ibrahim Ado Abubakar. The first step to building social work partnership is to identify who you want to collaborate with. The way collaborate with the imperialist, the colonialist, before love's evaluate, it must come with belief, confidence, trust. Then love is the last portion of it. So when somebody tell you, I saw your husband somewhere, you should be able to tell the person, please, carry your story. But I believe in my husband. In our daily activities, and that is why if I asked a lot of people here, what is the meaning of relationship? They are not going to give me the definite meaning. If I asked people here, what is the meaning of friend? They can't give me the meaning of friend. I've asked so many people, thousands of people in Nigeria, what is the meaning of friend? But let me bring it down. Friend is free relationship, including enemies navigating direction. So I can be a director, and I have a deputy, and I have an assistant, and I'm saying they are my friends. The same assistant director can take me out of the office and become the director tomorrow. So are we friends? So you are just, it's a free relationship. Including enemies, navigating direction, that is friend. So sometimes we don't think beyond the box, we just look at the dictionary definitions of things, but some of us go beyond research and bring out what is supposed to mean. These areas were invaluable in facilitating successful operations outcomes. What is the outcomes at the end of the day? What could be the propelling force that makes your synergy to work together an objective one? You must have a synergy that makes you people work together. And that brings about relationship. Because this relationship is imperfect people coming together to build perfection. So you don't look at the second person as a perfect person. I am imperfect, you are imperfect, and we are trying to build perfection out of our imperfection. So your synergy first of all has to look at what? Your partner as very imperfect person. Whether it is in a business relationship or social relationship, you should look at the person as imperfect person. Why the other person look at you as very imperfect person? But your synergy will not be what? Trying to build perfection. It reminds me daily that no one operates in isolation. In our shared mission to help others, collaboration is not just beneficial, but vital. You can't live in isolation. I can't say I had it all. No. I always use myself as an example. I know some people will be shocked here. After my first degree, I went for 2 masters. I came for my doctorate. And after my graduation for my doctorate, there were 39 awards from my university. Out of the 39 awards, I collected 36 of the awards. But you know what happened? That very night of collecting the awards, I attempted suicide. Yes. You see, he said, hi, you are a high flyer, you are everything. I have my first degree, first class distinction. I have 2 masters, distinction, doctorate, distinction. But in all this, there was no father, there was no brother, there was no sister, there was no uncle, there was no mother, there was just nobody. So you are collecting awards and keeping them, you are empty because nobody speaks to your mind. You see people climbing who are somebody else, but you are standing alone. So you are inside you. All these things are values. I wish your brother or your sister or your father or your mother or somebody, uncle or aunt or so was there. It would have been merrier, maybe that would have calmed you down. but you are a known person. So what are those awards for? That is why today, even if they say they have no small meeting for my children in the school, I am the first to go and sit down there. You don't know what you are doing by that. You are encouraging and building a person in the child. So for us who were not opportune to have that, you think we are working well. Like I would tell my northern brothers and sisters, always, when you call, I have a lot of them when I was the dean of postgraduate studies in this university. I have students I used to bring from Nigeria to this university in the UK. And when they call their parents, they will see an alert of £5,000, £10,000. The child don't need that money. He wants to confide in somebody. Wants to talk to somebody, not the money. He wants somebody that will give him value of what tomorrow may be, principally. But that is not the business. But in my own case, it was a different scenario. I don't know how my mother looked like. So she come here, we can quarrel and fight, and before somebody may say, that is your mother. I was growing up to know my father, the same thing. So sometimes, when I speak like this, my children will say, Daddy, leave Nigeria alone. You don't belong here. This is a society that killed your mother. And this is the society that killed your father. My mother was killed for one reason. We were having 5 universities in Nigeria. She became the head of university education. So she decided to put universities when we were establishing clear rules and expectations. Once you have identified your potential partners, you need to establish clear rules and expectations for each party involved in the partnership to work better to achieving your goals. Clear rules, clear definitions. You must. It is not something different. You must state your clear rules. Identify those clear spaces and say, this is my rules. A lot of people come and tell me, my marriage is in problem. No, your marriage is not in problem because you did not identify the clear rules. You were expecting so much. There was no clear rules. You did not discuss anything with her. And she did not discuss anything with you. You just want marriage and you went into marriage. So you shouldn't feel anything when by 7 p.m. your meal is not ready. Or there any clear rule? Enter the kitchen and do it yourself because there was no clear rule. I know in my own time, I tell my wife, leave the kitchen for me on Sundays. I am the chef. I don't have anything doing on Sunday. That's my rest day, so I'm the chef. And my children will somersault because everything is going to be, according to one song I've heard, everything is going to be double. This means defining the purpose, the scope, and objectives of the collaboration and teamwork, as well as the responsibilities, tasks, and contribution of each partner. You should also agree on the decision-making process, the communication channels, the feedback mechanisms, and the conflict resolution strategies. What are your strategies? Because strategies drive the whole thing. At a point, I said the first doctorate was not good enough for me. I have a second one. As of today, I think I have 9 masters and 3 doctorates. And I want more. The only thing I understand in the Quran and the Bible is, which I know God has said, is go forth and seek knowledge in all diversity. So any other thing is not for me. That is what I understand in the Bible and the Quran. Go forth and seek knowledge in all diversities. So I have time. I don't have time. It's not an excuse. I am ready to seek knowledge till the day I pass away. So don't be surprised if tomorrow I get up to 10 doctorate degrees. Alhamdulillah, I don't care. As far as I have that passion for it. Those who are on social media see a boy that has a car in Abuja, and on the airport road the car will fly. Have you seen it on social media? No, a car flies on the airport road. If I bring the young boy here now, he's 22 years old. He read mechanical and space engineering and has a master's in mechatronics engineering and is doing a doctorate in space dynamics engineering. He's 22. Everybody knows that story in Abuja. The car that flies on airport road. That is my son. And I tell my children, your benchmark is, and that boy made first class in mechanical and space engineering. He made a distinction in mechatronics engineering, and I know he's going to make a distinction in space dynamics engineering he's doing in his doctorate. There is no two ways on it. The only thing we have in our family is academy. But don't come and ask us for 1 million naira. We don't have. Having a written agreement or a memorandum of understanding can be helpful in so many cases. Formalizing and documents the rules and expectations of the partnership you are working with. Most people said we don't need to document it. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. We just want it being done. Things don't work that way. I told Buhari that if you want to fight insecurity and insurgency, it is very easy. And if you want to leverage it on a proper platform, remove security to be independent of their own and also generating their own revenue. I know a lot of people will be shocked. Because from my studies, security can generate 150 trillion naira every year. From my studies. How many of you have made a UK product in your house? And what is UK producing? How many people may have made a US product in their house? Apart from maybe a Ford car, a Chevrolet, a Cadillac or so. I don't think a lot of us here have anything made in UK or US or all over Europe. What we buy these days are China, Turkey, and the rest. But they still stand relevant because they will not teach you what is security economy, what is security business and economy. They will never. Never. Because the more insecurity you have, the more you involve them. And they make money out of you. They make $1.6 trillion from Africa every year. And you know what they give us in return? They make you to buy estates. We need a house. Nigeria have deficit of housing of about 28 million. So you rush for house. You rush for good shoes. You rush for good cars. They don't drive those cars. In the whole black nation, no black man has generated generational wealth. None. My brother Mike Tyson, at a point, I think he's the richest boxer. Okay, he made more money in boxing, so he's the richest boxer. That is what I call him. But he's the poorest candidate on boxing. Because at a point, he was having 98 cars, and no one was less than $1 million. So somebody would just go build Volkswagen B2 and write Mike Tyson on it, and they will come and buy it for $1 million or $2 million, as far as his name is engraved to it. Why people like Holyfield has 4 cars and they are living in luxury till tomorrow? Because they know where to invest. If you live here to America today and you go and stay in a 5-star hotel, nobody tell you it's your money. But if a citizen of America live like Massacre and come to Trascott Hidden to lodge, they will knock at his door. The security will knock at his door. By 1 a.m., my friend, we know you made this money legally. But I think you have areas to invest your money. This hotel is not for you. You check out. They will do it for their citizen. They won't do it for you as a foreigner. You come to burn the money, burn the money. But here we have security where I can leave Massacre and go and lodge in Trascott Hotel. Nobody talk to me. Whether it is stolen money or whatever money is nobody's business. Are you secured? You are not. So we have this value problem. So, as a security engineer with case management responsibility, I quickly learned the importance of establishing clear rules and expectations in my collaboration with professionals in different fields and aspects. Knowing exactly what each party can contribute and expect from the partnership ensure a smooth operation and prevent miscommunication. In most trade, we also miscommunicate. So if there is no documentation, will you understand the area of miscommunication? Do we really read agreements, addendums, before we sign? Yeah? You have to, because you don't know the one that said cuts his head. Okay, I have a problem here. I will tell you one of the problems. In one of my interviews, I said Nigeria is a nation, but not an independent nation. You know why? Because the document my forefathers signed was not an independent document. It did not spell independent. So it's just like I give you to take care of my office, but I did not give you authority to spend the money in the office. That's what the Britons did to us. And you know that I went to the Ministry of Justice and we don't have that document that granted us the nation. We signed an agreement we shared in 1951. We signed with Texaco, which is Chevron today, in 1952. We signed with Mobil in 1954.
The lecture was well delivered,
and we really enjoy it. It's sank into our brain and enlightening us more. But mine was not a question. From what we said, we are talking about emotional trauma. How do we attend to emotional trauma that happens? Because your last word was that we should learn how to celebrate our daddy. You are not saying celebrating mommy. So, if by every year that falls into a month of your daddy's birthday, you remember to celebrate your daddy, and men, they don't normally remember our date of birth. How do you tell that to you in order not to affect our own emotion?
I was expecting it. I wasn't covering it up. I was expecting that one woman would say so. I don't think any of my child has given me 10,000. But my children from number 1 to the last one, even as their mother is an executive director somewhere, has benefited not less than 1 million naira from each of these children. Our whole celebration is not celebration of money. It is celebration of coverage, coveted into our personal ego. Man is built on ego. When you massage a man's ego, you are already done with the man. So when our child comes and says, Daddy, today I celebrate you. If it is not because of you, I will be what I am today. You have done what? You are covered. The man is already happy. But when the children comes to you as a woman, you are expecting the wrapper. You are expecting the headgear. You are expecting so many things from that child, which the man don't care about. I have my daughter who graduated in America. Did you know my offense? I couldn't attend the graduation ceremony, even when she knew that I have sent 20 of my friends all over the world. I have friends who left Ireland, I have friends who left UK, I have friends in America, I have friends in Australia who came to, but something happened that I cannot travel to meet up. That I was in tears here because I was watching it live. She's a young girl, 21 years old. Now, she did 4 courses because I don't discourage my daughters. She was to do physics and computer. She came back and called me, I wanted to do mathematics. I said, go ahead. I want to do artificial intelligence. Go ahead. I wanted to do applied engineering. I said, go ahead. But you know what happened? She has first class in all of them. So she had the President Award of US. So today, I am relaxed. I'm not paying school fees again. So she's doing doctorate in nylon technology. So now, mommy and daddy, I recognize my wife's birthday. You see, we grow up from various environments. That is why somebody asked me that, can you give your daughter out to a man that was brought up in Maraba? And I told the person, capital no. He said, is it that the rich don't marry the poor? I said, no. Environment actually affects marriages. So for me, I recognize every detail of birthday and the reason to celebrate you. But if it is a man that is not brought up in the same environment with me, that is the whole issue. And did you know why I said I cannot give my daughter out to somebody who was brought up in massacre? It was not a downgrade. If you go now, I want you to do an experiment. Go and buy maize, soak it on the water, grind it into what we call pap or akamu. Are you hearing me? Then go and buy beans, grind it to make beans cake. Then go and buy 1 pack of oat meal and buy 1 sausage, 1 pack of sausage. Use them simultaneously. You find out that the akamu and the egg, the beans cake will finish. Yes, the oat and the sausage pack is still remaining. Yet, go to somebody who was brought up in massacre and marry the person and your mother. You know, African marriage is not only the man. Your mother-in-law will say, it's only Oribo food they are eating in my son's house. Then go back, buy chicken, prepare tomato sauce for rice. Then you are not a good wife to somebody who was brought up in massacre. But go and buy stockfish, dry fish, this. Put them together that will cost you 1 pot of soup for 50,000. Make pounded yam and the rest is the best wife. So what is the cost index? 15,000 to 50,000. I need the same sum, but you have not eaten the man's money.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Please put your hands together for our prof. Celebrating. I'm sure a lot of persons enjoy this. Thank you very much. Please celebrate him. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I understand that a lot of person wants to get materials and all of that. We send them to you. We'll have to make little adjustments. Please, we have to make little adjustment because our presenters, some of them are returning back to the office. And sincerely, Professor's lecture was a very lengthy one and interesting one, and we appreciate that. So we were supposed to take goodwill messages and before this lecture, and I understand that the representative of the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Women Affairs here, Ambassador Banimo Gabriel Aduda. I'd like to beg that please, it's a goodwill message if you can take just 2 minutes so that you can take his lectures. Thank you, sir. This goodwill message is coming from Federal Ministry of Women Affairs. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, distinguished. First of all, representative of the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian together here. I want to recognize all of you, especially state officials who are here from various NDAs. And before I start with my brief goodwill message, I'd like to doff my hat on the person that has just spoken. It's not easy to have few of them in our country, and I want to let us know that in all the universities in Nigeria, before I came here, I made a little research and discovered that those who are experts in what we are talking about here, social work, there are 2 aspects of social work all over the world. There are social work practice and profession, those who are in the field. There are social work discipline for the academia, for the teachers and lecturers. So these are 2 areas. They are social work, but they are distinct in their implementation and approaches. I would just want to, before let me recognize your slogan, Great NASoW, Service to Humanity. This legislation that the government has passed, the last administration, and Buhari administration, before he left office, that was the last legislation that Buhari signed, signed into law. And I want to clap for him. Maybe any other thing. You know why I say so? Social work has been in vogue in the whole of the UK, talking about Scotland, Wales, and parts of That is England, Wales, and Scotland. That is part of their makeup to UK. You go to Netherlands, you have what the community IRV, the IRV volunteer force. These are areas in the European Union where social work has been there, part of Canada also, and recently Australia, India, and part of Asian and Nepal. Now social work practice very current in this country. At that very point in time, in border administration, it was the last bill that Buhari signed for 31st of November. Last year of the year, for 20, I can't remember the year, but last year of the year, so he signed it. So what I want us to do now, what I want to tell you quickly from the permanent secretary is, what are the immediate benefits that are derivable from this legislation? Identify these benefits, the importance of acting with time. You know why I use the word time? Time because anytime you have political will of the government, don't waste time in doing the needful. Don't waste time because of who? Because of the best interest of those who this legislation are meant for.
Thank you very much. It's okay. You have done more than the time, but there's a breach of protocol somewhere which we are trying to sort out. We're sorry about that, gentlemen and ladies. I understand that in every organization follow protocol. Please, for those of you that are still wishing to talk or to say goodwill or whatever, please follow the appropriate protocol so that we don't break it subsequently. Thank you for your understanding. At this point, I'd like to call on our next paper presenter. Can we take that of Doctor is back? Thank you. Thank you, sir. We learn to when to pray. Please put your hands together for my boss. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The President of African continent, the National President, my respected professors in the hall, Rep of Honorable Minister of Humanitarian, Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, State Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I needed to go and answer the call of the nature. So that's why I step out of the hall. Yeah, before I go into my presentation, I think for plenary is supposed to have a session chairman so that the presenter will be timed. You know, from the program, Professor Ado Ibrahim is supposed to just speak for 25 minutes. But he spoke for over 1 hour and yet we are not tired. You know, so that is the joy of a teacher. And you are communicating when people are receiving your message. So you keep going and going. But for a time-bound program, we need to regulate it. You know, so even though there's no panel chairman to tell me what time, I have checked the time myself, and I also realize I have 25 minutes to speak. I do hope I'll be able to do justice to it within that 25 minutes. Once again, my name is Dr. NASoW. I'm a researcher with the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, National Assembly, Abuja. The topic we've been discussing this morning, because it's just the same topic, but given to different scholars to explain it from different perspectives. Also, I has looked at it purely from the history of partnership of NASoW, partnership with both governmental and non-governmental organizations, the gains, the advantages, the challenges. I made some beautiful recommendations. Professor Ado Ibrahim decided to speak to our emotions by way of pricking our conscience to do good. I was so happy that he kept talking about himself and not another person. He was sharing his own experience, he wasn't speaking about another person. That is the way to go. And the takeaway from here is that this platform, social work is a noble profession. social work is an humanitarian service. Social work is godly service. If you are serving humanity, you are serving God. So if you call it humanitarian, there is a service to God also. And if you serve God, I think your reward is not here. If you serve God, you expect reward. But it was in those days that they said your reward is not here. God of today, which is the living God, if you do good, we reward you here and then reward you hereafter. So as a social worker, I want to talk to ourselves first. As a social worker, for us to choose these noble paths, either by accident or by deliberate. Some of us find ourselves in this field by accident, not by design. Either by way of I gained admission and I was given a relevant course, I was looking for a job and I was given a job that has to do social work. Not that I desire to be a social worker. Either way, you are on this. And now that you are on this, how will it impact? So the impacts should start from the players. And the players are the beautiful faces in this hall. From my information, a number of us here are already in management cadre at our respective organizations. Some of us even directors at our workplaces. What that means is that you would have one way or the other be involved in partnership with other development partners. So if you could do that for your office at a bigger level, you can also do it at a micro level. Partnering social work acts. Now all what they've been doing before now is based on policy, not a framework. I want to single out the Baba Alhaji Moshood for his resilience despite his age. So social work is unique, is important because of these very important characteristics. So if you are here and you are practicing, if it is by accident that you are here, if it is by design that you are here, if you are happy to be a social worker, please clap for yourself. Thank you. Move to the next slide. We are all gathered to discuss what comes from the act. So I took pains to bring out some salient things captured in the act. I'm sure Baba have made efforts to circulate the act to some of you or to all of you. So you might have seen it, but by way of our characteristics, we have documents but will not peruse it. Even those who have the act, I can confidently say how many people understand what is in the act. So I just decided to bring out some key issues in the act. Please scroll up to the next slide. Key provisions of the Nigerian Social Work Act. The act is a regulatory framework. It's now a law that when you contravene it, there will be penalty. Before now, when we are relying on policies, when we are relying on the assumptions or the relationship, you can't be penalized. But because we now have an act, there are certain things that if violated, then there will be an issue. I'm not sure if rep of humanitarian or women resources are still, women affairs are still here. If they are still here, I want to build on what Alhaji Moshood said in his welcome address, that it is high time that the council is constituted. I'm aligning with him that the first fundamental thing that the Act gave us is the establishment of Nigerian Council for Social Work. The Act wants this council because this council is the embodiment of the regulation. And NASoW cannot inaugurate the council. NASoW cannot constitute the council. It's the ministry. So if the rep is here, the rep should please take back to the ministry that this conference have resolved that this council should be quickly constituted and inaugurated. The duty of this council is to ensure that social work, closed door to quacks, closed door to semi, closed door to substandard, closed doors to all professionals. The council is to ensure that for you to proudly call yourself a social worker, you must attain some specific educational and professional criteria. That is what the council wants. Educational and some professional criteria before you can stand up anywhere and say, I am a social worker. What was tenable then is still applicable now. Because if all development partners, their focus is to do 3 things or 4 things rather. It's either they are supporting you financially, or they are building your capacity by way of training, or they are giving you technical experts in terms of supporting you on things that you needed to know and you don't know, and they have the expertise. And maybe lastly, they help you to propagate. They help you to spread the gospel, to tell the world what you are doing. So the duties and responsibilities have not changed, but what is new now is that they were doing all this using policy framework. Now they are using a legal framework. Now with the law in place, as a social worker, either at the state level or national level, particularly from NASoW now, it's high time you begin to put your heads together, particularly at the executive level, and reach out. Development partners will not locate you. You have to locate them. Annually, they have this fund, they have the budget, they have the money. They are looking for reliable and trusted people who can help them spend this money. That is where the issue of trust, confidence that Professor Ade Ibrahim was emphasizing comes. The moment they can trust you, the moment they believe in you, they will channel their fund through you to execute their project for them. Even though I also know that in the time past, NASoW had a very strong head coalition with UNICEF, particularly in the build-up to so many of their programs. Vis-a-vis the interference of the ministry and some undercuts engagement of the ministry. But NASoW has still navigated it. They have still navigated it. If UNICEF is tired, you don't be tired. Don't be tired. Please reach out to them again. Go back to them. They still have this money. And now that you have the law, you have the instrument, you can negotiate better now. You are in a better state that you have what they can hold on into. So, but I think you won't be able to do this until you have the council in place. That is why I said having the council is quite important. If we're able to have and earn the confidence of these development partners, let's go to the next subject. Leveraging partnership for development. What can this give us? And how can we navigate this? If you are partnering, because we are emphasizing development partners, it's not about foreigners alone. We can partner within ourselves. We can partner with government. We can partner with reputable CSOs and NGOs that have fund for all these things. In Nigeria, I know T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, Tony Elumelu Foundation, this man in Global Corp, what is his name?
So this social work act we are talking about, it was enacted to regulate social work practice. This act we are talking about, have we started getting the benefits? Yes or no? Whether we like it or not, the visibility we are getting now, see so many people coming, is as a result of this act. Provision of a legal framework for regulating social work practice, ensuring professionalism and accountability in the field. That's one of the benefits. It establishes licensing standards and ethical guidelines, promoting quality and consistency in service delivery. Even this registration we are doing, that we are getting certificate, They are not doing it in some countries. Some countries, their association is just 2, 3, 4, 5 people. It's when they have program, they call people. And after the whole program, that is the end. What are the challenges? Limited awareness among social workers and the public. All of us here, we are aware about the act, but you know there are still a lot of people that are not aware. I don't know that my phone number is still on NASoW, is it Facebook or something? Some people still call me today. Some people will still call. When they call, they're asking questions. I'm asking. They don't even know that there is any act. They don't know anything. I will now tell them, okay, they want to register and they want to get license and they heard that there is this, there is that. I will now say, okay. Sometimes I give them the secretary's number or I give them the number of the state chairperson in that state. So we still have a lot to do because a lot of people are still not aware. Some people fell into wrong hands. Later, when they go online, they now say they search, they now saw that NASoW is clinical with IFSW. I say, okay, welcome. We are ready to receive you. Inconsistent enforcement across states. We have 36 states. I was very happy today when I saw the state chairperson from Kaduna. They told me Jigawa is here also, and Katsina. When I was the assistant secretary, you know, all those states were blank. And I'm so happy now that, you know, we are increasing. But we still have more to do. Please let us clap for Kaduna, Jigawa, and Katsina. I remember it was during Benue. Okay, yes, Benue. And Benue State. Benue State too. Is Yobe here? Yeah. Oh, please clap for Yobe and Benue. Abia! Are you serious? Oh, okay. Thank you. So you see, we've almost covered everywhere. Some states don't even know what is happening. Some states don't even have an association. So, although the Social Work Act has been enacted, a council to regulate and oversee the profession is yet to be established. There is a significant gap in implementing the Act's provision and achieving its intended goals. If we have this council now, most of our problems will be what? It will be solved. But I believe, and I know we all believe that we'll still get there. It will be achieved. Inadequate funding to operationalize regulatory bodies. Please, next slide. With all these challenges now, what are the opportunities in these challenges? I always say that whenever there is a challenge, look deeply into that challenge, there must be an opportunity. What are the opportunities? Advocacy. Okay. You've taken my slide away. Okay. So, but the first opportunity is advocacy. Advocacy is the next slide. Advocacy towards the establishment of this council. No, not this one. Before this one. No, not this one. Yes. Advocates for increased government investment and resources to support the social work profession. Many of us here are from different local governments. Thank God we have the local government system back. Abi? Yes. So that means the local government will have its own budget. Local government is autonomous. Many of us here, HOD education, HOD this one, in the local government, what effort are we making? If we don't make efforts to have a budget in our own local government, who will allocate resources for us? Even all these development partners that we are talking about, they look at sustainability. They say if we invest in this association, when we pull out our funds, is it not going to crash? But look at it today, this AGM and conference, I stand to be corrected, my president. The association did not get ₦1 support from any development partner, Abi? And we are moving on fine. If we have to depend on UNICEF or anybody all the time, when they don't come to our aid, what happens? That means we can't do AGM. Our students here in Nigeria, I'm sure if you see the opportunity to go for an exchange program, will you not embrace it? You will embrace it. You will embrace it. But we need to start somehow. Donors might not say they will fund it immediately, but at least those that are close by, those that can afford, those that can sacrifice, those that their governments can support, let us start something. Let it be a pilot. Then we can now start saying, oh, UNICEF, oh, you said we've done this thing in Kogi State, we've done this thing in Benue State, this is the impact, this is the success rate, this is what we got. Can you support us in another state? Benue State, where are you? Benue State, all the donors are in your state. All donors are in your state doing different things. I was very surprised when Professor said it was NASoW that did Child Rights Act, that were part of the organizations that wrote the Child Rights Act in Nigeria. And in many states, we have this Child Rights Implementation Committee. So how come our members are not there? How come we are not there? Those are things. You are there in Cross River, thank you. Kwara, you are not there, because I know. Other states too, we are not there. Child Rights Implementation Committee, we need to go there. If this thing originated from NASoW too, then you have to be there. He also said something about NAPTIP, ABBA, that NAPTIP, the NASoW was part of the organization that designed the training manual. And do you know there is a task force committee on human trafficking in every state? Though I'm part of the one in Kwara. Other states, what's happening? NASoW needs to what? We need to be there. We need to be in all these committees. There are a lot of agencies and institutions that have social related issues. And we not, I mean, maybe we feel they will call us. Nobody will call us. Oh. There was a training they invited me for in Kwara State. My state chairperson witnessed. And when I got there, they were now calling, they are waiting for social workers. I said, which social workers? Where? And they invited social workers from the 16 local government. They have not seen them. I said, it's not possible. Immediately, I said, let me see the people you invited. By the time people started coming, they are not our people. They are not. I said, no. These are not social workers. I know them. And I gave them the number of, I think maybe the secretary of vice that I got. They called all of them. A lot of people are waiting to take our space. I'm in the NGO sector. And a lot of my friends will say, hey, you are just enjoying this social work. I'll keep quiet. Me too, I want to join now. I want to be part of NASoW. I'll just be looking at them. Meanwhile, we that we are there, we need to make extra effort. This NEMA, Agency on Disaster, all of them are in our state. Are we going there? The state association, these are places that we are supposed to be. But they might not know that we exist. If we organize a program, let us invite all of them. We are organizing social work day. What are we doing? Is it every time we just match with t-shirts? Are we using those programs to develop strategic partnerships? Look in your state, look at those agencies, institutions that have social activities. Invite them for your program. When they come, you know, oh, I'm sorry, we don't know that this organization exists. And the partnership starts from there. Using research, I've talked about research. Policy, what are the benefits for social workers? Benefit of this or benefit for partnership we are talking about. Capacity building, access to specialized training programs on contemporary issues like child protection, gender equity, and mental health. We have a lot of organizations focused on these things. If we partner with them, and I always tell people, when you want to write an organization for partnership, don't ask them for money, I beg. It's partnership you are asking for. Eh? Let them just invite you for their program. Once they invite you, they are seeing you there. You are their stakeholders. Do you know that even before donor gives us funds as an NGO, they will call the ministry to find out that, do you know this organization? Are you working with them? Do you know them? If the director they call it the ministry says, I don't know why, that is all. Anybody nobody might come. You won't know, they will just come and observe your program and they say, these people, they are washed out, they didn't do very well. But if they see what you are doing, they see what effort you yourself are making, that's when the partner will say, okay, let me support. But if you are not making any effort, a country wanted to do a conference and AGM. They now told me that they wrote to UNICEF and UNICEF did not respond. And I said, okay, share your letter that you wrote to them. By the time I saw it, I shook my head. These are people you've not developed relationship. You now wrote a ridiculous amount. And they should pay for everything. And I told her, this thing is late, it's 3 days. Even though I spoke with the person at the regional level, but nobody will respond to this kind of thing. There are ways you write that letter, there are ways you coin what you want to say. These are things I'm ready to teach those young people you give me from your state. Please, how do we overcome all these challenges? I've said something like that. As Nigerians, let us increase our representation in global forums to ensure visibility. Abuja, FCT, what is happening? Everybody.
The IFSW African President, thank you and appreciate you for your beautiful presentation. But I want to make it clear to all of us, and every one of us that social workers should always earn respect and not demand for respect. There are two different things. You see, in building a relationship is a dynamic interaction of emotions and attitude. And it will not be seen by what you can do. The way forward is for the national association, state association, and social workers as a body to build strong social work institutions in order not to put ourselves into disrespect and disrepute. Going to partnership with local international organizations are very ideal. But it doesn't mean that a national or state association should go into self-mutilations before you can be assisted. We don't need to cut our leg, our hand, before we can fit into the already made project of an organization, local organization. And the way only how to earn respect in every state in Nigeria, go and reorganize state chapters. Most of us are just occupying space. We are not adding value to social work process. And I'm making abundantly clear. If you earn respect, you will get respect. If you demand for respect, you will put yourself into disrespect and disrespect. When we were going for IFFW Africa in Lagos, I told the TP African region by then that we must build a very strong and powerful strategy to make a success out of the regional conference. She agreed with me. If we have been unable to access support from anybody, that Lagos State IFFW will still have been a successful business because of our people. But the beauty and glamour was added to it because they have seen our seriousness and commitment to social ideal and social excellence. So with that, because they asked us a lot of questions, and by the time they saw the seriousness and commitment in us, they came in. But I can assure you, if with or without that support at that time, Nigeria Association of Social Workers would have still had a very beautiful and glamorous IFSW African Union. So meaning that most of our state chairmen who are here, we are talking of collaboration. Collaboration is not a Father Christmas. They cannot be there for your emptiness. If you are empty and you're not resourceful, nobody will be there for you. But the way you move is that way they are going to accredit you and appraise you and support you. I'm now appealing to all of us here. It's a golden opportunity for all of us to go back home and strategize because of the tomorrow of this new association. Because all about us, First, before we talk of all about the international organization and local organization, charity should be doing at home. And that is my good advice to you.
I still remain my humble self, Comrade Ali Gambo from Yobe State. Haven't listening to all the presentation and deliberation being carried out in this very important conference. I come to make some submission as part of my understanding and contribution to this global organization. In the presentation, I learned about some issues being raised and some indicators that will add value to our activities as NASoW. And one of the contributions I want to make is that it's part of what some of our speakers have rightly said. As an organization, we do social work, and social work is a humanitarian work. There are certain steps that we must adopt or implement in order to achieve our cost. And part of it is, one, we need to embark on data generation and research, which is very critical in our work. Two, we need to establish programs and strategic plan for what we want to achieve in every year. And this is because you cannot engage with critical stakeholders, especially the NGOs, if you don't have a strategic work plan, because they need to know what you have on ground, how you want to go about it, what is your MIE framework, what are your outcomes and objectives behind your strategic plan or program design, which is very critical to our work. And then furthermore, contact and partnership, which has to do with advocacy and visibility. We need to be very visible. We need to encourage media in our activities. And then finally, we must facilitate to see how we can work on the strategic work plan with some partners or sponsors to serve as our roadmap in all our activities. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any questions?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, the President of NASoW and NASoW President and every of the honorable guests. My name is Diana Karim. I'm a member of the Oyo State NASoW, but I live in Abuja. So I just want to say something about leveraging technology in social work. No, I have a question and I have a comment. So all this, it's not like a comment. Most of the problems that I'm identifying, I feel it's because we are not including the youth at the national and the state level. And we cannot rule out the capacity of the youth, especially in this social media age, that everything that we have to do is online. For instance, some of the students in some schools complain in the group that they are able to register as a member. If we have an online platform, you go on the website, you register. Like I checked the NASoW website and I cannot see where I could actually do a registration without having to use forms. We don't know how to use papers. We can go online, register, and then you get your certificate downloaded online. Some of the names of social workers in Nigeria, we should be able to access them online. We should be able to access the national executives, the state executives, even projects that NASoW have done in different states. Everything should be online. So that's just what I want to say. That please let's include youth in decision making so that we can move with the trend, which is technology. Thank you very much.
The work agenda. And maybe some of us are really informed. Because when we came on board, we said categorically that NASoW will use the energy of the youth and wisdom of the whole to move NASoW forward. And we have done that. The past president of the Nigeria Association of Social Worker Students is now the Deputy General of Nigeria Association of Social Workers. In the NASoW Secretary, we have 5 youth there. Dr. Powers is 1, Musliudin the PRO 2, Fabian is 3, Justice Dustin is 4, and Shade, they are all youth. So if we should ask, and then we'll be properly informed. And then again, we do not want to create an impression of self-attachment that it is the youth have little or nothing to contribute, but always be living, always looking forward to what the old social work and the old professional will do for them. That has been the practice. When I was going for IFW conference in Uganda, I don't think anybody's here. We saw students from the University of Ibadan. They came in large number. They paid for their flight, accommodation, and registration many from the University of Ibadan and other clients. So if the students are saying they want to be here, maybe because they are students and they don't have one with us to be here, that may not be correct. There shouldn't be any sense of attachment. Because if equality, justice, and fair play are some of our goals, then the youth, the students, social work students, should participate actively in the social, political, and economic life of our association. I want to make it clear.
Okay. Thank you for the young person that raised that question. Just in addition to what the national president said, at the national level, I know there are a lot of it, but at the state level, if they don't even call you, do you make yourself available? They do meetings. Do you attend such meetings? You can go to the state chapter and let them know you have these skills. I can help my state. I can help you to develop a Facebook page. You know, we can put the names of members on this Facebook page. So you need to go and offer yourself. There was a time myself and the president invited young people from Kwara. They were now asking me, how much are we going to give them? What will be their gate from this? Yes. The two of us called them for a meeting. Those that we felt were promising, and I was even talking about Justin, look at him, look at other people. And they said, what do they stand to gain? And I felt bad. So, and that was how the state chairman in Kwara is here. Those youths during the election, did they even come? No. We agitated that they should create a position, leave a position for a young person. They did not show up. They said, what would they gain from it? Please, make yourself available at the state level. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think it's lunchtime. Just as we went during the breakfast time, we'll start from the first row. So it's time to have your lunch. Thank you.
I'm here with Dr. Victoria. As she take her paper, please, you have 20 minutes. Thank you. Or 10 minutes, as the case may be. Please, display her paper. Thank you.
Yes, my name again, Dr. Victoria Inyada from Lee City University, Department of Social Work, Ibadan. I won't take much of our time because it's a discourse. It's a paper presentation, and most of the things that we have here have been discussed. I'm just leveraging it on academic and professional collaboration, a strategic relationship for transformational impact in social work practice. Please, the first slide. Effective social work practices rely on collaboration between training institutions and practice partners. This has been established even by the lead speakers, and our #1 social worker in Africa have already stressed this. But I want to say, before Nigeria, global challenges calls for collaboration. And if you look at the SDG Goal 17, there's emphasis on collaboration for impactful impacts and outcome. And so social work is not left out in issues on collaboration that we have been talking about. Right from the first list speaker, second list speaker, third speaker, and the third speakers. And why would we need that collaboration? We have global challenges. And if you remember the IFSW conference that we had in Lagos, it was on emerging social problems in the world, in Africa, and even in Nigeria generally. You will find out that day in, day out, we are having social concerns, social issues, which have been raised even by speakers before me. Now in Nigeria and Africa, academic and professional collaboration in social work practice is crucial because of these challenges. These challenges that are listed here is global. Poverty, conflicts, health crisis, unemployment, and many more that have been mentioned even in this conference. To tackle such issue calls for collaboration, as it has been stressed. In Nigeria, for instance, we have over 40% of Nigerians living below the poverty line. And poverty, if you look at it, have led to series of problems in Nigeria. The details, because I believe we social workers, we must have a grasp of this social problem, as we have the statistics from National Bureau of Statistics 2023. But come 2024, you want to agree with me, with this economic situation, we have more. It would have been higher than 40%. And as social workers that have been handling issues, you will notice that the problem really is poverty. We must work on this. We must come together to bring up social workers with good outcomes, even when they come to the field. And this can only be done with training institutions and our professional partners. Collaboration here will enhance social work education and outcomes, I've said that, and it will help us to address the complex issues that are coming every day in Nigeria. Abuses here and there. It will help us even to tackle the issue of social justice through practical training programs. And this we see from the work of NASoW and NWACO 2023. Collaborations have been demonstrated between local and non-governmental organizations, the NGOs, and universities like the University of Lagos. They have shown success in tackling community challenges. NASoW should note the outcome of this research. Through practical training programs, a lot have been done. It also provides hands-on experience and align education with real-world needs, leading to innovative service delivery and sustainable development. What we are saying is that training institutions alone cannot produce social workers without having experiences in your organizations. We send them for field practical, and I ask you, how well are you training our students? Some will not even come to your agencies. You know how to write reports. I'm in charge of field practicum in my university, and I've seen a lot. that you people will just sign their logbook. And I tell you, many of them, when they go outside the country, what they ask them most is not theory. They ask them, how many hours have you spent in practice? I've written several references for students. And by the time there was one that wants to join the British Council of Social Work, they demanded for the logbook. And they calculated the number of hours. That student was not qualified. I'm saying this so that professionals here that we send our students to, the field practicum is meant for you to train and assess them. Their marks does not come from the university. The field-based officers, many of you are here. What do you do with our students? Are you helping us to produce qualified social workers that will impact on the problems that we have as a nation? How would you help the vulnerables? How do you go out for social justice and equality? When those who are training, they have nothing to offer when they go out to the outside world. Many have been said, even with the lead speaker, Prof, and #1 social worker of Africa, that do you think they just give money? For the Western world, social work have gone very far. It is left for you and me in the academia, on the field, to boost what social work will be. And if we are clamoring for a social work act that is flexible, that is sustainable, we have work in our hands, both the training institutions and the professionals. And so what are you doing for us? We need to provide hands-on experience that align education with real-world needs. If they come out there and you don't give them the real-world experience, theory cannot change the society or whatever problems we are facing. In social work education, effective collaboration is ultimately necessary to produce qualified workforce that can be showcased even outside the country. Next slide. Global reports to tell you that collaboration is so important. Collaboration between schools and social work organizations are vital for effective practice. This partnership, what will it do? It will bridge the gap between theory and real-world applications. We have global issues that have been listed for us. And let me just go through that here. When we talk of global reports, #1 is our FSW, Definition of Social Work 2014, says social work is an academic discipline as well as practice-based profession. So you could see that even FSW emphasizes that aspect, and we are part of IFSW. The recent Global Social Work Alliance of 2021 also revealed this unto us. So we have collaboration with local health services and universities that have been researched on and reported. And this is Australian Association of Social Works. What we are putting on now has been done in other countries. I mean, this has in other countries, and there have been results. And apart from this, we have several literatures. United Kingdom, 2019 Social Work Reform Board stressed this collaboration. And what are the impacts? Next slide. The impact of this collaboration. Impacts, please. The impact of collaboration. Okay, you want to just leave the theory. The theory, don't put it there again. The theory, this discourse hinge on social exchange theory and then social system theory, and trying to let us know that these theories talked about interconnectedness, relationship, that we are part of the system, both the academic and professional. It is when the system comes together that we can have an effective impact. So we have role to play. Professionals, you have role to play. The academic, the training institutions, we have role to play. And so what we have as impact of collaboration. Collaboration between training institutions and professional partners have been repeated earlier. Enhancing social work education. Partnership ensures that courses reflect modern societal demands. We get the problem on the field, and so as researchers, it has stressed community mutual respect and the inherent worth of personal relationship. Please, let's relate together, professionals and academicians. I want to thank you that you are inviting professors to come and talk to us. Even in state chapters, you will just discover that academicians are not even part of the executive. Yes, and you know, I've asked people, but they said they are not recognized. Ministry people, you need us. And we also need you. Social work education emphasizes the importance of integration, and that is what Ubuntu is saying. Practical application in Ubuntu. Ubuntu values enhances social work initiative, it enhances decision making, it is reciprocity, it encourages a mutual benefit of partnership. But I thank one of the speakers that it's not only benefits, but making it work to affect, to impact on the vulnerable population, holistic well-being. So Ubuntu aligns with modern social work. And we have had a lot of case studies on this. Example is Kenya and the US. They have shown positive impact of Ubuntu values on health outcomes, community support networks. Next slide. Next slide. The advantages. We have also made use of some of them, which will boost our student learning. Collaboration efforts will improve service delivery. Innovation and creativity. Next slide. Next slide, please. What are the recommendations? The recommendations are part of what has been raised, but I will link it with the academy and professionals. Establish formal partnership, MOU, it has been said. NASoW, communicate, sir. It took me a long time. In 1997, I was part of NASoW. Even before 1997, we started NASWORK in University of Ibadan during my time, and I was the treasurer. So I know that time many of us were eager. Many of my colleagues are agencies owner in US, in UK. Many are professors. But there was nowhere to run to, as at that time. You know, social work has been there, but the faces are not open to all. Invest in capacity building. Much has been said about that. We need it. When you are having your practice partners, make sure the academicians are also part of it. They will respect what you are presenting, because they know they cannot present just anything. There is discipline in academics. Leverage technology. Somebody has said that. Leverage technology, sir. NASoW, leverage technology in your different states. Many of our students, I'm the one now introducing NASoW onto them. Communicates. There can be Zoom, different platform on which you can meet us. The students inclusive, and you will see that there will be creative ideas being brought onto us. So, digital tools enhance communication, resource sharing, facilitating remote collaboration. There are great social workers outside this country. They are Nigerians. Let us link up to them. Let them bring ideas and we move forward. And this will improve social work cooperation in Nigeria. Yes, during COVID-19, it was first. And this was gathered from the work of Obi and Nwako 2022. I told you my paper is on extant literature, researches that have been done. It will promote student participation. You are college students. Please, let's adopt all this. Next slide. Next slide. Do we have any more? That's my final thoughts, and I want you to agree with me. Now, moving forward, academic and professional collaboration is very important. Thank you.
Please celebrate Dr. Vicky. I want to be a blessing at Dr. Vicky because you have shown us style in your presentation. I thank you. That is academics for you. So let's hear from our president.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Yera, I thank you for the very beautiful presentations. I would like to respond to two things from the papers. The first is the unity among professional bodies, by extension among the professional components. A social worker is a social worker. Whether in generics, medical, correctional, education, schools, a social worker is a social worker. And the Nigeria Association of Social Workers is properly divided as the umbrella for all practicing social workers in Nigeria, irrespective of the components and the economy. When we are struggling for our bill, one of the members of the House of Representatives drew our session to a fundamental issue, which has now become the statement of President. He said, you are approaching the National Assembly to help you actualize your bill. But we have seen 3 bills in the National Assembly. One for NASoW, supposed to be the umbrella body, one for AMSWON, Association of Medical Social Workers, another one for ISIMON. Those who call themselves athletes of NASoW. So, a house divided. Cannot stand. Once you are divided, you cannot stand. You cannot withstand the test of time. So that was prolonged the disunity among the various components and various professional bodies. Delay the passing the bill of the Nigeria Council for Social Work into law and for it to be signed as an act. Now, let me say bold and clear. The act stipulates, or the act is clear without any ambiguity, that NASoW, irrespective of the site of NASoW, still remains the umbrella body for all practicing social workers in Nigeria. So at what point are we seeing the AMSWON, ISWON, and AMSWI at the same part with NASoW? There's a disconnect somewhere, a very big disconnect. At what point is AMSWI, AMSWON, ISWON, rating themselves equivalent to NASoW. That's an absurdity. And that is the main, that's why the emptiness of in our belief and our actions are our major factors that are causing most of the problems that we are now encountering. Then come to the academia or the academic community. The Nigeria Association of Social Work Students was established in 2006. Nigeria Association of Social Work Students was established in 2006 as an arm of Nigeria Association of Social Work Students. Meaning, as you are transitioning or transforming from being member of the Nigeria Association of Social Work Students, you are automatically becoming a member of Nigeria Association. But if the students are not aware of NASoW in their various tertiary institutions, it cannot be the fault of NASoW. But the fault of educators training them, are they equally member of NASoW? Are not paying dues, are even not registered with NASoW. So where is the professional pressure they belong to? If India has is ASU without a component under NASoW. If you are ASU, is ASU not under NASoW? So, at what point do we see the gap? And it is that emptiness in our understanding that our opponents are using against us. That weakness they are using against us. When NASoW is propagating a deal, fighting for our struggle, ASU will be away, will not be there. ASU will keep from a distance, as if they are not part of the struggle. What you don't have cannot give. If you are not a member of NASoW, how do you educate your student as a member of NASoW? Is it the responsibility of NASoW to come out to your university to give orientation? As you students, you must be member of NASoW. When you, the educators, are not member of NASoW. So, the blame game and the poor understanding of what NASoW is all about is one of the major concerns causing trouble problem for us. Until we go back to the drawing board and accept NASoW as the umbrella body for all professional social workers in Nigeria. It is then that unity that we are talking about that is where is where desired can come to reality.
Thank you. I just quickly want to find out. There's been much talk about the council, but I think, if I'm not wrong, I've heard less about the welfare of social workers. I think light should be thrown on the benefit of having the council running and the welfare of professionals or practitioners. Because when we look at NBA and other professional bodies, they actually look out for the welfare of their professional members. Let's not only be talking about this collaboration and what we do for the students or what we do for the society. What about us we need to be taken care of? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, President, respond before you go. Okay, no, man, please. I know you can respond even in that direction.
Thank you, Dr. Ihioda. I just want to, for your presentation, I just want to say that you talked a lot about research. Let us start from you, from your state. You know, the institutions in different states. We can collaborate with the state chapter, look at a particular issue in our state. Even if we don't have funding for that, at least with your expertise, experience, you can do that with the state chapter and we can put that result online anywhere. So anybody that sees it, they can use it or they can even call us, you know, for support. So I'm putting that to you, ma, and all the other institutions that are here. Secondly, you talked about internship for your students. I know that in my organization, I receive a lot of interns. And as you were saying it, I mean, it just came to me now because recently some have been writing, you know, trying to know the number of hours. And I'm like, you know, especially those of them that travel out and all that. So I'm just thinking, yeah, because it's like we don't have so many places to take people to. I don't know, maybe social work is, I stand to be corrected. We have places. We have places, okay. Even some of our state chapters too, you can maybe send one or two students there, they find something to do. Maybe whenever the state chapters need some support, these young people can, cheer them up and be able to do some things. Thank you.
There is one thing
in agencies, and that's why I talked about one man show agency that has no training in social work. I will not send my students there. They know me, some of them are here. You must tell me the social worker that is on ground. And I think the act will leverage on that. And I'm just pleading with other academicians that are here, training institutions that are here. Don't send your students to where we don't have a trained social worker.
Thank you. IFSW requires 400 hours.
Yes.
400 hours. If you divide that by 8 hours a day, that gives us 50 days. 50 days. Okay? If you divide that by 5 days a week, that gives us 10 weeks. So 10 weeks. That's the recommendation of IFSW. Okay. Now, in Nigeria, we have this problem. In other places, the requirement is that the agency overseeing the internship must have someone who has a master's degree in social work, because the master's degree is the minimum qualification for teaching in the universities. Okay? So, if a university sends someone to an agency, the person there should have the equivalent qualification to teach in the university, and that is master's degree. And we have been trying to do that. And we have problem. Some of these institutions, even though they may have somebody with the first degree or even a master's degree, the person at the top may be a sociologist. They are my brothers. They claim that they are social workers. I always tell them that they are not. So that's the problem. So when your student goes for internship, who should be the person overseeing this? The sociologist will say that he's the person in charge, so he should be the one. Okay? But if we have proper guidelines over this, the problem is resolved. You state in the guidelines clearly that if there is no one there with a master's degree, then the university would assign somebody who will be going there on a weekly basis. And that problem will be resolved. Okay? Which other issue? Welfare. When you don't have a united body, how do you talk about fighting over your welfare? The national president is the one that will do that. But we are not united. So how will we do it? Now we do it with people from 10 states. Instead of 36 states, you have only 10 active states. So with the national president now be demanding from government that the welfare of social workers should be this and that and that. It is when you have all the states of the federation, all the social workers in these states coming together united, that you now have a powerful person who will speak for you. So please, I don't think we can talk about that for the time being. If we really want welfare issue, we should be behind our national president. Then the issue of affiliation. I've always said that there is freedom of association. Yes, let us allow all those people that are not educated be part of any type of association they want to be. But the umbrella body remains the only association in Nigeria as far as international recognition is concerned. But when an affiliate tries to grow wings and become bigger than the main body, then there's a problem. And we need to caution that affiliate. When they came to us begging for affiliation, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development at that time begged NASoW to accept that affiliation. Begging, I was there present, and I told them that there wasn't any need.
I think the first game that is very conspicuous for a blind person to see is that the social work profession in Nigeria will be backed by Act of Parliament. Meaning, initially before now, it has been, for you to practice as a social worker, it has been BSc in social work and other degrees in social science. Meaning, sociology, anthropology, political science, economics, geography, history, they can practice as social workers. These are denying opportunities to our students in very many institutions in Nigeria, moving from tertiary institutions to the world of work and world of labor. Let me paraphrase. Sociology, social worker. Psychology, social worker. Anthropology, social worker. Education, social worker. Economics, social workers. So it puts the real social workers at a disadvantage. So when they are looking for job opportunities, it is very, they will compete with each others. But if a social worker is moving to sociology, psychology, no, it's not training that field. So we are denying teaming of our members from various tertiary institutions opportunity for gainful employment. So when this cancels out, the first warfare to the generality of our members will be that for the first time, the profession will be regulated, so that whoever wants to be a social worker must have some degree of training in social work. So we are now saying, from now on, when the council is on, most of our social workers can have already given the opportunities that are being occupied by people who are not supposed to be there. Then again, the other aspect I want to, maybe I think I omitted one, but that is the real social, that is the first gain. The other gain is that the social workers in the country will now be talking with one voice. One voice. So when it comes to welfare, good condition of service, we will all be talking with one voice. Other than say you are a social worker. When you put 10 social workers together in the ministry, the 10 social workers have different degrees. How do you evaluate the competence of those degrees? So there are some people who have 40 degrees, like somebody with this geography, home economics, under relevant relevant degrees in social science. So how do you relevant at what level position? You cannot demand for respect, you cannot demand for good conditions of service for sociology, psychology, linguistics, and that at the same time. It must be properly defined. As we are defending the social worker, we are protecting the interests of social workers. So it means when the council is there, we will be speaking with one voice, under one profession and one destiny.
At this point, gentlemen and ladies, I'll beg us to rise as we close for today. A Christian prayed when we started. I'll beg a Muslim to come and close us. Any Muslim in good faith and in good standing that will wish to pray.
Okay, thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin amin. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك عزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you very much.